Today, we are going to talk about the biggest, the hottest, and the greatest gaming smartphone that might be an overkill. Yes, the ROG Phone 5 is now official and we now have the pricing details of this device, and spoiler alert, it's actually pretty affordable. Well, if you are not so much onto gaming, we are also going to talk about the Find X3 Pro, which has a pretty impressive camera setup. But don't worry if that's not something that you're looking for. Well, you have come to the right place, because today we are not just going to talk about the ROG Phone 5 or the Find X3 Pro. There is also the new Galaxy A series plus a new Vivo smartphone. So what are we waiting for? Let's get started. First up, the ROG Phone 5. Actually, the Soy Chin Chow team has been really excited about this smartphone, especially Zach, because he has been hogging this smartphone for days now. Okay, now back to the specs. So this device here comes with, of course, the Snapdragon 888 processor, a high 144Hz refresh rate, so you'll get that really smooth gaming experience, and also up to 18 gigs of RAM. And for the specs you're getting, the price is actually pretty decent. It has a starting price of 2,999 ringgit for the base model, and the best out of the best, which the ROG Phone 5 Ultimate with 18 gigs of RAM, is priced at 4,999 ringgit. The standard ROG Phone 5 will be available for pre-order from the 11th to 25th of March, with stocks expected to arrive on April 2021. Pre-order customers can get a Kunai 3 gamepad worth 499 ringgit for free while stocks last. Meanwhile, the high-spec Pro and Ultimate variants are set to arrive in Malaysia in May 2021, and both come with an Aero Active Cooler included. Buyers of the Ultimate version will also receive an Ultimate Fan gift box. Okay, so now let's get Rory into the show, since he's more familiar with this phone. Okay, so Rory, I've recently watched your unboxing video of the ROG Phone 5, and there are...
Recently only
And to be honest, right, there's actually some pretty interesting things about this smartphone. So could you tell me what's your favorite?
I think the first thing, if you're talking about the ROG Phone 5, is the price. 2,999 for the base model. That sounds like a really good deal. And of course, the rest of it is like, it's got top-of-the-line specs, the screen is really nice, but part of me wishes it was Quad HD, just, you know, so it looks nicer on paper. But yeah, besides that, I mean, okay lor. And if you really like, you know, all the accessories and you want to really kit out your smartphone, you can do that, because there's like the whole, like, I don't know, if you watch the video, you know lah, all the whole kacang, like, look like Transformer like that. Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
Do you think it's a bit too much?
For mobile gaming, as someone who once participated in the PC Master Race, nothing is too much.
I also saw someone comment on your video. He said that he would rather get this than the Switch. So what's your take on this?
Oh, I actually answered this in another video, but I'll say it here also. You're not really buying the Switch for the hardware, you're more buying... Okay, I guess in the Switch's case, it's more unique because you have like the whole new experience, but now it's like not that new anymore. But you buy consoles for the games. You're buying PlayStation because you want like Spider-Man or Horizon Forbidden West. You're buying Xbox because you want Halo or whatever. You're not buying the consoles for the performance or the specific specs or whatever. But for like an ROG phone, it's different because first of all, there's not really a competing product, and second of all, the games that you can play on ROG phone, you can play on any other phone. So it's more like, it's more niche lah, it's more for the enthusiast. But you know, I think over time, like compared to the first ROG phone, the current one has definitely done a lot to bridge the gap between the hardcore niche gaming phone versus the more normal flagship smartphone.
Oppo's latest smartphone, which is the Find X3 series, is now official, and to be honest with you guys, the design looks somewhat similar to the iPhone 12 Pro. The Oppo Find X3 Pro will go on sale in Europe from the 30th of March 2021, and it will be priced around 1,149 euros. There's no information on how much this smartphone will be priced in Malaysia, but we will update as soon as we find out. One of the most interesting things about the Oppo Find X3 Pro is its camera system. It's a quad camera setup on the rear with a 50-megapixel wide-angle shooter using an IMX766 sensor with an f1.8 aperture complemented with a 50-megapixel ultra-wide shooter and a 13-megapixel telephoto camera, which offers up to 5 times hybrid optical zoom. But the wow factor here is clearly down to the 3-megapixel micro lens, which works like a microscope. It supports Full HD video recording, and it can magnify objects up to 60 times, and from our experience so far, the micro lens is really mind-blowing. So for the Oppo Find X3, right? Find X3 Pro, what kind of people will buy this phone?
Not exactly sure what kind. Like, I can't say for certain because let's be real, Oppo's recent flagship resurgence is like, it's still quite new. This is only the third version of their Find X, and honestly, if you're asking me, it's more like the second version of their common flagship because the first Find X is so fundamentally different from the Find X2 Pro. And the Find X3 Pro is more similar to the 2 Pro, you know, where it's this mass market device that pretty much anyone can go and buy. So if you ask me who's going to buy it, I guess people who are looking for an alternative at the high-end Android market, because right now at the high-end Android market, you don't really have any other option besides Samsung. Like, who else are you going to buy? Huawei? And then what, live with no Google, is it? Cannot lah, of course. So those people who don't want to buy Samsung, maybe they don't like One UI or they don't like you know, being so mainstream, whatever, they can try the Find X3 Pro because as far as, yeah, Oppo is very popular in like the mid-range segment, but if you're looking at high-end flagships, they don't really have much presence there. And I mean, if you're looking at the specs, it's up there. It's like all the stuff that you could want. So I don't see why people wouldn't. Of course, there are also people like Amin who are like, oh, why is it on Oppo? So, you know, it's hard to say who's gonna buy it, but I think it's putting up a strong case as like the alternative to Samsung.
So do you think that moving forward, other smartphone manufacturers will follow Oppo's footsteps and add the micro lens instead of zoom lenses?
No, I don't think so. It's cool because we haven't seen this before, but if every phone has it, then it's just whatever, you know. It's not fundamentally useful the way an ultra wide or a telephoto is, if you ask me. It's more like a fun thing that you can use to show people or take cool Instagram photos or whatever, you know. So I don't think a lot of people are doing it. But then again, you know, it's hard to predict these type of things. Like, I say a lot of things in the past that I thought this was going to be the future, and look what happened. In the end, nothing happened.
So this device is not available in Malaysia yet, right? So when will it make it into our market?
Well, I don't know if I can say or not, but actually I don't have an exact date, but what I heard is like it should be arriving sometime within this month lah. So that's pretty fast. I think like about 2 to 3 weeks time we should be able to see it. At least that's what I heard initially. But how much, I don't know yet, because the Europe pricings are always super overinflated, and I don't know how far it's going to be from the Europe pricing to the Malaysian pricing. Normally Malaysia cheaper lah, so maybe you can look out for that.
Samsung has announced its Galaxy Awesome Unpacked event, which will unveil their latest Galaxy A series of smartphones. These are their mid-range devices, which appears to come with more flagship features than before. The Galaxy Awesome Unpacked is happening on the Wednesday, which is on the 17th of March at 10 PM Malaysian time. You can watch the launch live on YouTube. The 2021 Galaxy A models include the Galaxy A32, the A52 and the A72. Before the Unpacked event, Samsung has already unveiled the Galaxy A32 5G in several markets. This is one of Samsung's most affordable 5G devices, and it succeeds the current Galaxy A31. The A32 comes with a 6.5-inch HD Plus display, and it comes with both 4G and 5G variants. The 5G version runs on a MediaTek Dimensity 720 5G chip, while the 4G version runs on a Helio G80 processor. For the higher tier Galaxy A52 and A72, Samsung is stepping up by adding more flagship features, which includes water resistance and stereo speakers. The A52 is expected to come with a 6.4-inch AMOLED display, while the A72 gets a larger 6.7-inch AMOLED screen, which is said to push a higher 90Hz refresh rate. In terms of its processor, it is speculated that the 4G version will run on a Snapdragon 720G. Meanwhile, the 5G model will be running on a Snapdragon 750G, which is similar to the Galaxy A42 5G. More details will be revealed soon, so stay tuned. Last but not least, we have a Vivo smartphone to talk about. Vivo has officially confirmed that the Vivo X60 will officially arrive in Malaysia soon. The device will be launched on the 22nd of March 2021, and they've also confirmed a couple of specs, which includes the Snapdragon 870 processor. Meanwhile, Vivo also alludes to a second-generation gimbal stabilization 2.0, along with, of course, the new partnership with Zeiss for its cameras. There aren't any technical specs that has been revealed just yet, but there will also be an upgraded Extreme Night Vision 2.0 for low-light photography. Alright, so before we end today's video, let's react to some comments. Okay, so Anik Hassan asks, Xiaomi Mi 10T Pro 128GB variant in Malaysia? Well, unfortunately, the Mi 10T Pro in Malaysia doesn't come with 128GB of storage because there's only one single variant. So the Xiaomi Mi 10T Pro here in Malaysia comes with 8GB of RAM and 256GB of storage, and it is officially priced at 1,999 ringgit. But you can actually consider the Xiaomi Mi 10T as well. So this device comes with 8GB of RAM and 128GB of storage, and it is 300 ringgit cheaper than the Pro version. But there isn't any major difference between the two devices. Both devices comes with a 6.67-inch Full HD Plus LCD display with 144Hz refresh rate, a Snapdragon A65 5G processor, and a 5000 mAh battery. The biggest difference among these phones is their camera setup. While both devices pack triple camera setup with a 13MP ultra-wide camera and a 5MP macro camera, their main cameras are actually different. The Mi 10T features a 64MP sensor, while the Mi 10T Pro will come with a 108MP sensor instead. So is the camera sensor difference a big deal to you? If it's not, then the Mi 10T is actually good enough. Alright, so thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like our video if you liked it and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already, and also click on the notification bell icon so you won't miss any of our future videos. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye!